All right, what's going on, Distinguished Degent Nation? Welcome back to the Distinguished Degents podcast. I'm one half of the Distinguished Degents, still alive, still going. I'm Steve, Big Bucks Beta. Joining me as always, welcome back, Mr. Jason Money Mansmann, returning from his bye week. Mansmann, how was the bye week? I hope you got everything done that you needed to do. And it was good to see you on Sunday.
Yeah. The bye week was necessary. Was able to get a lot of important stuff done. And last weekend, I good to see you too for a while.
Yeah. We inadvertently, folks, ended up deciding that this past Sunday was going to be our end of year rager because with the holidays coming up, Money Mansmann was going to be unable to join us next week for the viewership. We'll have an episode, obviously, but between Christmas and then maybe New Year's, the way they fall, it was just sort of like we knew we weren't going to see each other, and it was going to be till next year. So my wife basically decided she wanted to go to my mother-in-law's and make cookies with her. She happens to live 5 minutes away from Money Mansmann, so I said, hey, just drop me off, and I'll let you know when to pick me up.
That was mistake number one.
Oh, yeah. So you may be wondering, like, how did this night go? Well, this is going to be confusing for you, but we're going to do this. I'm committed. I have the Fireball shirt on.
Oh.
I went out of my way to get the Cinerator, which for those of you at home who don't know what the Cinerator stands for, the Cinerator is a punishment liquor because not only do we, trust me when I say the Cinerator is like a bad version of Fireball, and that's putting it nicely. It is punishment for when we have a shit week, shit handicaps, or sometimes what we like to do for fun is use it to bet against each other. Sometimes we call it the Blaze Bet. We call it, what are the other crazy bottles we bought before? Catching Fire, I think, was one.
Yeah, Catching Fire, the Blaze. By the way, to give you guys an idea, I almost single-handedly killed the Blaze on Sunday as recompense for weeks of bad bets. So
yeah. So this week, so basically week 14, I handicapped on my own. Tried to give you guys some good picks. Emphasis on the tried. So when the following story comes out and you're going to be confused, like why is the Cinerator out? I'll just break it to you. Here's why. I fucking shit you not on my picks. 2, 12, and 1 ATS. 3 and 12 money line.
Jesus.
Yeah. Big Bucks did not have a good handicapping week. So that is why step 1 of this episode, bad handicapping, bad picks, just throwing that out there for you folks. Like, this is what happens to me when you do this. You have to be better. So this is number 1. Now,
oh
shit.
God!
I forgot.
Bro, that looked painful. Holy shit.
Okay, so we're back.
Oh my God.
So now you may be wondering, why am I still Big Bucks? I almost lost every single bet I had made. Kind of obvious with that ATS record. We're getting into the 4 o'clock slate. I have not hit anything. My round robin is the only thing that's somehow alive, and that's because even though like I didn't realize it, I actually put in Cincinnati +1. That one was the reason why it stayed alive.
Yeah.
It's the 4 o'clock slate. Mansmann is chugging the Blaze. I am about to start chugging tequila when all of a sudden we hear breaking news. Geno Smith out. Drew Lock, former Broncos quarterback, in. So what do me and Mansmann do? We do doubles for Drew. On top of the fact the Broncos were on and the Bills were on at the same time. So now we're going into the witching hour of the 4 o'clock games. Still not looking good. Still looking like I'm going to lose everything off my shirt. But the Broncos are winning. Justin Herbert's out. Brandon Staley still sucks. The Bills are close, so we're keeping an eye on that. I decide, fuck it. Let's see how bad I'm out. ESPN bet. Basically everything done. DraftKings. Round robins left. FanDuel. What's this? I shit you not. After the last episode, I put in what my neighbor / friend Miguel refers to as a dummy parlay. I throw up a 8-leg same game parlay plus. I shit you not. It was I threw a 10-piece just to fucking fuck around and find out. Last couple episodes I referred to them as refrigerator bets because my fridge went up and I had to get a new one. So I'm trying to get the money. I look and this dummy bet is live as a motherfucker. Raiders under 19.5 total. That was good.
Yep.
San Francisco to win. Deebo Samuel touchdown. The Samuel touchdown had already hit. There's the Broncos game. And I'm like, fuck. What did I do? Broncos plus 1.5 in the first half, which had hit by that point.
Mm-hmm.
Christ, what's his name? Javonte Williams, anytime touchdown. Not fucking realizing he hasn't scored a touchdown all year on the rush. He gets one in. That's a hit. And now I'm looking and it's like Jerry Jeudy under 44.5 receiving yards. He's a 16. Okay, so there's one leg that's still live. I keep going. Josh Allen, anytime touchdown. That had hit.
That's it. Yeah.
Bills plus 1.5. And I swear to God, I feel like I'm missing another leg, but I'm pretty sure that was 8. And I'm just looking at this like, Jason, you're not going to believe this. I am live on a dummy bet. It was 127 to 1 odds.
Yep.
And we watched the end of this Broncos game, and we're like, how the fuck can we hedge this? And I was like, I got Jerry Jeudy over 19.5. So it's like, literally, I could middle at this point. That's literally it. I could middle, break my bet even, start at that. Game ends in the Broncos game. Jeudy doesn't get the yards. Or I think he did. He ended up getting another catch or something, I think. But the
two that were scary were Jeudy under yards and Bills plus 1. And as a Bills fan, I don't know if we've gotten to this. I am literally like, bro, you need to hedge.
We're getting there because we were looking at the Jeudy first because the Broncos game was closer to ending. So I was more hyper focused on that. But so the game ends. I think I middle the bet. So I'm like, okay, now I just need Bills plus 1.5. And we're getting to the wire in the fourth. I have it up. I get Chiefs plus 2.5. Fuck it. Maybe I long shot middle it. I'll just get the $10 back. It wasn't even crazy. The Bills somehow, and correct me if I'm wrong, take the lead 2 minutes to go.
Yep.
And I'm just like, oh my God, there's 2 minutes left.
And I told you at that point, bro, what you need to do is get a 600 burger and put it on the Chiefs to win because I've seen this happen before.
Yep.
The Chiefs are going to win this fucking game.
We literally just saw it with Philly, and I even did it with Philadelphia when they played. Because remember, I had a 3-unit bet on them. And you literally said, once it went to overtime, hedge on the Eagles, Bills are going to lose. I do it, even though it was my dog of the week. I ended up profiting either way. But there's something about this Chiefs game, and my hand is on the trigger, and I'm not doing it. I could have had 600 on the Chiefs in this game. Do I do it? No. What do? I'm in to win 1,200. I've had a good bit of losses today. I'm going to hedge just my losses. Ended up being like, I think I had like a $200 bet, Chiefs live bet money line.
Yeah.
Let me just like get my money back. The very next play is the Travis Kelce lateral to Kadarius Toney, and he runs it in.
And
I'm sitting there like, me and you are just dejected. And we're
literally,
like,
I'm like, I told you. I can't.
Yep.
And then
Jason's just like, he called it. I'm sitting there like, wow, did I really just like not listen to man? I've been hitting nothing all day. I've been wrong about everything. Did I just like ignore the one smart guy in the room? Yeah, I did. And I'm just like, motherfucker, I can't do this anymore. No, there's a flag on the play. Kadarius Toney, offensive offsides of all the fucking calls. And lo and behold, Patrick Mahomes blows another game at home. No comeback drive. Bills win. I hit a $1,200 same game parlay. Literally saved my betting week. But it doesn't end there, folks. Don't worry. There's more. Here's part 2. So, I'm hit for $1,200. Mind you, we've been playing doubles for Drew. My wife is like, hey, it's 7. Can I come pick you up? No, the Bills and Broncos are still on. I'll text you. And she's like literally trying to call me. And I'm like, no. And I'm like, Kate, I literally have $1,200 on the line. Leave me the fuck alone. And I was just like, Kate, if I hit this parlay, I'll get you a puppy. Just leave me alone.
Oh, Jesus.
I get in the car. And she sees me skipping out of your house, drunk out of my mind. Just, holy shit, I hit a good bet. I'm happy. And the first words are, oh, so we're getting a puppy. Shit. There's number 1. But look, I'm happy. One of the best hits I've had in a while. Dejected day. Like, I'm on cloud 9. I'm fucking happy as a motherfucker. We've had Goldschlager for the first time in a while.
Yeah.
And so what happens? Well, I go into the house and I don't even make it to like the second half of the Cowboys-Eagles game. I'm out. Well, I wake up and it's like 5 a.m. She's getting ready. And I'm like, wait a minute. She probably set my phone alarm. Where's my phone? I can't find my phone. And I'm like, oh shit. Well, it's got to be around the house somewhere. I get my laptop. I try tracking it. It's not picking up. And I'm like, uh-oh, that's not good. So I literally message you on Facebook. I'm like, hey, if you find my phone, like, can you just let me know? I think I left it there. I go outside right after, and in the driveway, I see my phone completely waterlogged.
Oh, dear.
But you know, it could be worse. Like, there's a case and everything. It's face down. And then I pick it up to see that my wife that morning had ran it over with her car.
Jesus.
It is shattered.
Holy shit.
So I lose my phone. So this is number 2.
Oh, jeez.
Oh. Oh, that went my nose.
Oh, God.
Oh, but wait, Mansmann. There's more. You know this story. So I call my boss. My boss literally messages us at like 8:30 in the morning. Hey, good morning, guys. I heard it snowed. Did anybody go outside to find snow? No, I didn't. I went outside to find my phone. Ran over by my wife. And they're like, oh, like, is everything okay? I was like, no, I just dropped it. Didn't realize it. Like, so I messaged her and I'm like, hey, like, I'm going to have to go to the store once it opens. Kind of need a new phone if you want to get in touch with me. So I get dressed, I get ready, I shower, and I can't find my keys. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I can't find my keys. I tear my house all up and down. And Caitlin's like, well, do you want me to text Jason about the cell phone? I was like, no, just text him, see if my keys happen to be there. Sure as shit, Jason texts her. His keys are here.
Yeah, left in the couch cushions.
I can't leave my house. I don't have a phone. Nowadays, that is like torture. But I get through. I'm like, whatever. I'll make this work. I have to Facebook call my mom, and I'm like, hey, Caitlin's at work. She works an hour away. She's going to be stuck in DC rush hour traffic. Is there any chance when you get off work, you can like do me this favor and like maybe we'll go get dinner, depending on how long this takes? Sure, no problem. She goes to your house. By the way, number 2.5. I gave her the wrong address.
Yeah. How many times you've been to the house and you gave the wrong address?
Listen, I'm more of like I know the house. I know where it is. I don't pay attention to the number. I just like, that's Jason's house. But I gave one off. And my mom ends up going to 3 different houses, knocking on the door, trying to find you.
It goes to every house but mine in this neighborhood.
Literally, yeah. It was so bad. But don't worry, there is more.
Oh my God.
So finally they get here, they get to my house, I get the keys, I go to Verizon. I walk in, no one's there. Perfect. I talk to the girl, I just show her the phone, I'm like, it's broke, I have insurance, but I want to see if I have an upgrade available, and if I do, what can I do, basically? I want to keep my options open. She goes, sure, this is like my 3rd shift, so bear with me. I'll probably have to get my manager. And I'm like, motherfucker, I get the new girl, son of a bitch. Like, but okay, I don't know. Maybe this will work. I've already hit for $1,200. I guess I'm not getting a fridge. I guess I'm buying a new phone. Like, but you know what? I hit the bet. Like, it is what it is. And I'm like, fuck, like, this could not get worse. It actually gets better here. She asks me 2 questions. Does the phone charge? Does the battery work? And I was like, I think it tried to charge. My charger was reading it because I did try to charge it to see if like it would boot up. It was charging. Like you could see it. It just like, but nothing. Like the phone would not even power on. So she goes, well, did the battery work before it broke? And I was like, well, yeah, there was no issues. She looks at this promotion and goes, I need to double check with my manager, but I'm pretty sure we have an $800 credit for you to get an upgrade today.
Woo!
I'm like, you gotta be, I literally tell him, like, you have to be fucking kidding me. Like, there's no way you're giving me $800 for this phone. Like, no, sure as shit. Manager comes out. Same questions. Did it charge? Does the battery still work? Yep, then we're giving you an $800 credit for you to upgrade. I get a brand new phone. No payment plans or nothing. I added deductible insurance for $100 for a new phone and a new case, $180. I'm like, done. Here's my card. This has now turned into a $2,000 profit day for me in my eyes. I'm like, fucking finally. They give me my new phone. I'm like, thank Jesus. I got my keys, my phone. This hell is over. I'm thrilled. But wait, kids.
Oh my God.
There's fucking more. They give me the phone. Battery's dead. Wasn't expecting that, but it's okay.
Oh, okay.
I throw it on the charger. It's 7. I got to get dinner. So yeah. I throw it on the charger. I get dinner. I come home. First thing I do, let me boot up my new phone. I turn this phone on. Imagine my face when I not only don't see the startup functions, I see a random picture of some hunter in the background. Oh. And there is a passcode with a pattern that I have no fucking clue, obviously, what the hell it is.
Oh, my God.
It's now 8:15. Monday Night Football has started, and the stores are closed. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Oh, my God.
I'm like, I just paid $180 for a phone I can't get into. Oh, and the worst part was this is a new security function. Now that I turned the phone on, I have to unlock it in order to turn it off with Not my phone number transferred to the SIM card. It was some other number.
Jesus.
For some other account. Yeah.
That is rough.
So I popped the SIM card out. I'm like, fuck it. I can't turn this off. There's nothing I can do. I have to wait till the next morning. I walk in the next morning. Same manager. Hey, buddy. Mind explaining what the hell this is? Because I'm confused. He's confused too. And he's like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, let me try to do a factory reset. Maybe we can get this one going. No. Turns out he gives me a phone the other night that someone else in store had all but set up and purchased himself. And at the very last second, his wife calls and says no. So he has to give it back. And the store associate did not factory reset it. So when they transfer my shit onto there, not only did it not work and they didn't realize it, it essentially locked the phone.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
So they had to fucking order me my new phone. I have to go in tomorrow after I get out of work, and they had to give me a loaner phone.
Jesus.
So I literally have a phone for all of 2 days just so I can go back in store tomorrow to do all this shit again.
God, you're not making Verizon look very good, man. Oh, there it is.
Well, I'm not feeling good. I should be feeling good because I hit a $1,200 same game parlay, but no. Oh, God.
Imagine if you lost.
Oh, God. Yeah, that could only have been worse. Like, that's the thing. Like, even when I win, I somehow find ways to lose. But at the end of the day, this is all just a good, funny fucking story.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Like, at the end of the day, like, everybody's just like, this is the funniest shit I've heard. I've heard people refer to it as, like, a Hangover Part 4. Like,
bro,
what
that's
the fuck?
that is, bro, that's the craziest. Bro, I don't know how you do it. Like, I don't know how, but I
couldn't tell you, man. I really couldn't tell you just, like, the luck I have with this shit. But I have a new phone tomorrow. Like, hopefully all will be well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And again, like, imagine, like, and there's a couple ways I look at it. It's like, imagine if I didn't hit that parlay.
That is
How dejected would I be? Imagine if I go into Verizon and it's, oh, well, we don't have an upgrade. You're going to have to pay the insurance deductible. Oh, and by the way, it's a refurbished phone. It's not a new one. Like,
yeah. That could have been,
you know,
yeah.
Could have been. Oh, and imagine if I go in, well, we have a credit, but, you know, you're going to have to pay, you're going to have to, like, finance $800, $900, which, I mean, would have been annoying. Not like I couldn't do it, but.
Yeah, but, yeah, no.
So, no, look, like, got a couple wins. That was my Sunday and my Monday and my Tuesday. It's Wednesday. We all know why we're here. We're here to recap the week 14. Yeah.
I gotta check something real quick. Start the recap. I'll be right back.
Sure. I'll go ahead and kick this off. We're going to go ahead. We did not recap the Thursday night game, so that is something we have to go over. It's the New England Patriots. They traveled to Pittsburgh on Thursday night. They were 6-point road underdogs. They go into Pittsburgh and get the job done. They almost make it look really easy. 21-18 was the final score. I'm going to start with the New England side because I think Money Mansmann will be able to come in and give the Pittsburgh side a lot better. But New England, I to be honest with you, I know it was like looking like a 21 skunk game, but I think New England was very lucky to come away with that win because the first half they looked essentially unstoppable. Hunter Henry, 2 touchdowns. Ezekiel Elliott was looking like his old self again. Bailey Zappi was looking like, you know, a serviceable veteran out there, despite the fact he's only been in the league for 2 years. They didn't do jack shit in the second half, though. And I think Belichick, like, I understand now Belichick is, like, supposedly out at the end of this season. And, you know, maybe he doesn't care as much. But if I'm him and I'm trying to win games further on out just to keep my career alive, I start leaning on the veterans on this offense and just stop leaning on whatever fucking bullshit quarterback you have at this point. Ezekiel Elliott looked like he had some like redeemable, likable qualities that you would want in a starting running back. Hunter Henry proving once again that I think he's still a top 10 tight end in the NFL. He has the potential to be a dominant weapon. You just have to fucking throw it to him and not be afraid to do it. And even Juju Smith-Schuster, I thought he looked pretty halfway. I thought he looked pretty good out there in a game against a Steelers defense that was supposedly like top rated. That top rated defense was a fucking no-show on Thursday Night Football. So like that's my takeaway. Like if you're Belichick, I think you just tell Zappy, fuck it, throw it to him, let them do the work for you.
Talk about Belichick. He might officially be gone at the end of this year.
I mentioned that. Supposedly he's out the door. But Mansmann, what were your thoughts on the Steelers' performance on this Thursday night game?
I think they're not a playoff team. They're no good. Ooh. I think it's finally catching up with them. We talked about earlier in the year when they were getting outgained by every opponent and finding ways to win. I think the game goes up eventually. And no offense, you're losing home games to the Patriots at this time of the year where the Patriots have basically mailed it in and their coach is gone. I don't know how they're going to recover last 4 weeks of the season. And the AFC there's a lot of teams in the AFC, and that division
seven-way tie right now.
Yeah, I don't know.
Every game is going to matter. My original thought with Pittsburgh was it's a blip game. This was just a weird loss. It's Thursday night of all things. Then you remembered they just lost to Arizona the week before. Yeah, now you've lost to New England back to back.
At home, 2 home losses too, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's bad.
Both of them. That's not good. Not what you want. Oh, and Mitch Trubisky, by the way, I was dead wrong about him. I thought that him being a veteran presence on the team as a backup would actually help the Steelers. Motherfucker tried to throw it over the fucking stadium on a 4th and 2. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking there. That was just inexcusable. In a game, and like I said at the beginning when you walked away, the Patriots were lucky to come away with the win the way they did because they did nothing in the second half. It was literally game managed like a motherfucker.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So, that's all I got for that game. We're now back into the Sunday slate, and I really should do another Cinerator, but I've just done 3, and I'm regretting it. But I'll make it up here and then another one. Baltimore 37, Rams 31. Rams covered as a 7.5-point road underdog. Really crazy back and forth game. This was my best bet. Ravens minus 7.5. Unfortunately, and I'll talk about the Rams here. I think that even though the Rams lost this matchup, this game proved they're officially contenders again in my book. This was a game where most NFL head coaches, I think, succumb under the pressure of this Ravens defense. And Sean McVay, honestly, I don't know if it was a hell of a game plan. I don't know if this is a hats off to Matt Stafford situation by keeping up with this Ravens team, but I think it just takes a decent head coach to go to Matt Stafford and this team and just say, look, I don't care that it's Baltimore. I don't care where we are. Just do what you do, which is throw to your top 2 receivers, let Kyren Williams do the groundwork, and just not being afraid to stick to it. And lo and behold, this offense proved. I think Kyren Williams might have been the X factor here.
Kyren Williams is a revelation, man, 100%.
And I think now that Rams can reestablish the run, this offense is very, very deadly. That's why I think they're contenders again. And like I said, I know they lost, but hats off for putting up a performance in a game like that against the top AFC team right now in the league.
Yeah. Oh, I 100% agree with your Rams take. I think on the Ravens side, really gutsy win for them. Sometimes these are the games they sort of find ways to lose. Good on them for finding a way to win. They're a legit contender in the AFC. I will say, sort of on the game itself, I thought it was going to be an under game because of the weather. It never really got as bad as thought it was. But, tough game, close game. We know Lamar against the NFC. But sometimes these rain games, it seems like these are the games that the Ravens sort of, I don't know, have a letdown on and lose. Good gutsy overtime win for them at home. That was a good win.
Yeah, good punt return for a touchdown too. On top of that, not normally what you see, even though we've seen it before. this year with the Jets and Bills. And I think there was another game where it ended in similar fashion, but the Ravens, I mean, it sucks they were my best bet. Lamar, kind of like you said, Lamar did everything right here, which was good to see. 3 touchdowns, 70 yards rushing, 23 for 41. And again, like everything you said, most of the time Ravens lose these spots, and it was just nice to see them come away with it.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, my fade of the week. Carolina 6, New Orleans at home 28. New Orleans ended up covering as a home favorite for the first time all year.
Ever?
Nope, second time ever under Dennis Allen. Yeah, I was going to talk about Carolina, but I need to rage for a minute. Here's my take on New Orleans. You need to fire Dennis Allen immediately. The next game he loses, he needs to be fired. What the fuck were you thinking? In a game you guys are winning, your quarterback and the guy handing the ball to him every play, the center, are arguing and fighting on your sidelines. And when you get asked about it by the media, your response isn't, well, I had to talk with Derek, I had to talk with the center, we're okay now, we're keeping it in-house. Or your response isn't, well, there's going to be some disciplinary actions, we obviously can't have that on the sidelines. Or it's not even, well, I understand there's frustrations, but obviously we can't have that, I'm going to discuss. No, what does this dickhead say? Well, I'm kind of glad they both got the balls to fight and stand up to each other. I cannot fucking believe this guy is officially the biggest spineless coward of a head coach I have ever seen. And I'm telling you, I have seen some spineless head coaches. This guy might take the cake. How the fuck do you refuse to stand up and be a leader as a head coach? And just literally, this just proves he has no ability to hold anybody, including himself, accountable on this team. This is why Chris Olave and Michael Thomas are still on the team. No punishments, despite both of them having been arrested. This is why Derek Carr is still a starting quarterback, despite the fact you're tied right now in the league's worst division. And it doesn't seem like it matters if it's Taysom Hill, Jameis Winston, or not. Like, I think New Orleans needs to do a reset like the Raiders did with Josh McDaniels. Realize how bad of a mistake they made. Just see what they have moving forward. And just saying to the team, look, we fucked up. Next year is going to have to be the reset. But, like, let's just finish this year strong. Let's put in who you guys want. And, like, let's just move forward as an organization. No, they'd rather rely on this dickhead. And I hope New Orleans loses every other fucking game the rest of the year.
Yeah, Dennis Allen has to go. I guess the Caser bet is technically still alive with 4 games left.
Yep.
And the Saints could win out because they literally played nobody. But at the same time, they may also lose every game the rest of the day. They suck. And as for Carolina, I'll keep it short. They suck. I mean, I even thought like you. I was like you. I thought Carolina had a chance to cover in this game because the Saints are so bad. Nope, Carolina is just the dumpster.
14. It was 6-14 in the up to the fourth quarter. Carolina had ample opportunities to tie this game, to take a lead in this game, and they just are terrible. They are like the worst, and that got away from me in this handicap, and that's a lesson I'm going to take forward moving on. Speaking of moving on, is Cincinnati going to move on from Joe Burrow here? Cincinnati gets a win at home, 31-14. They get, I know, but come on, I got to get something going. They get the win, they get the cover. They were originally a dog. They flipped the favorites, proved the sports makers right. Didn't seem like the number mattered here. Manfred, I'll let you take the start here. I don't know if you want to talk about Indy or if you want to talk about Cincy, but what was your general takeaway here?
I mean, I'm shocked that like the Bengals are still in the playoff mix. I thought for sure they were dead in the water when Browning was at quarterback. And surprisingly, they're 7-6, right in the mix. And God, I mean, the way Browning's playing, I mean, you could see this team. They look like a playoff team. I'm very surprised with how Browning has played. That completely took me by surprise, came out of nowhere. I did not give the kid any credit. I know you apologized to him. I apologize. I was on the Colts, and
I
yeah,
was on the Colts
Cincinnati, you got to
too.
take them seriously now. Got to take them
Yeah,
seriously.
I was on the Colts too, but like, yeah, I apologize to Jake Browning, but I also was like, look, this is going to be a tough game. This is also a playoff contender. This is the game you need to step up or step aside, and yeah, he fucking stepped up. No, my takeaway: the Colts came back down to earth, and honestly, like, I'm actually not entirely blaming this on Gardner Minshew. I know that seems to be the trend with the Colts losses, but I think the Colts defense was just a massive
Yeah,
letdown
I
here.
mean, they couldn't get a stop either. Yeah.
No, they were tied going into the second half as well. And then they just gave up 20 unanswered to Jake Browning in this fucking Bengals offense. Minshew may not have had his best game, but and honestly, this game could have reminded us why he is still a backup, but I hate to say it, you're 100% right. The Bengals are a playoff contender here. And this game just proved that, like, the Bengals between these two teams right now, where they're at, the Bengals might still be the better team. But other than that, we'll move forward. This was another shit game. This was my under of the week. Holy fuck, was this wrong? And if I was a little bitch, I would ask the people to beg for mercy and give me a mulligan here because my handicap was not even close to what actually came through. My handicap, this was the Jacksonville Jaguars, Cleveland Browns. Browns won and covered as a 3-point home favorite. Jags lose. It was 27-31, I think. And yeah, my handicap on this, it was CJ Beathard and DTR because Flacco gets moved to the practice squad. My thing was, what the fuck are these teams thinking? My fault. I should have looked more into this. I should have realized this was just a procedural move. Flacco is now the starter the rest of the year.
And Lawrence played for the Jags.
Yeah, and then Trevor Lawrence ended up playing, so it was just like, wow, what the and then the line moves to 1.5, and me and you were sitting there like, well, what? Why the hell did this move? Was it Flacco? Was it Lawrence? Like, we couldn't tell because both just kind of came out of nowhere, and the next thing you know, they're playing. It totally ruined my handicap because had I known it would have been those two quarterbacks, I probably would have sided with Cleveland here. Mm-hmm. But yeah, this score was a bit fraudulent because of that late touchdown with Evan Ingram. Cleveland was pretty much in control of this game, and I'll say this: Cleveland's defense is still looking suspect to me, and I don't care that they held ETN to 35 rushing yards, albeit I think that is what made the difference with this Jaguars team and why they ended up losing, because on top of that, Trevor Lawrence was, shall we say, limited. Flacco, another good-looking performance. I just don't know really what to make of Cleveland yet because they're still moving Flacco to the practice squad, even though he's the starter the rest of the year. Really
that might
weird
just be a procedural thing, though. Supposedly.
I guess, yeah, supposedly. But future-wise for Cleveland, though, this just my final inclination. Deshaun's not the guy. I've been saying it for a while now, but if Joe Flacco can come in off the couch and put up better numbers and get better wins than the $250 million guy, Cleveland, take your lumps, take the loss, do what's best for the organization. Maybe Joe Flacco's not your permanent answer, but like at least realize you made it. You got the wrong deal.
Yeah, that's a lot of lumps. I mean, you may need to basically tank a season or two with as bad as that contract's going to be. I mean, that's what, like fully guaranteed money.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's insane. Like they're going to set that team back. And look, like that game was a phony final.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Just I don't know. Trevor Lawrence every once in a while has those duds. I mean, we know Cleveland's a better team at home. That was just like a dud game from Lawrence. I know he was injured, but he looked really well injured against the Saints. They tried it again. Yeah. He didn't look good enough. And to me, that was a phony final. Jaguars got that late touchdown to make it a 4-point game. But at the end of the day, like 3 turnovers for Lawrence, 35 rushing yards for ATN. And you sort of wonder, all of a sudden, Jacksonville, again, They're only, I think, a game ahead in their own division, and you just wonder, like, what's going to happen with them? Are they going to sputter and potentially blow a division lead?
I'm calling it now. I've already called it last week. I said the Colts are going to take it over.
Yeah, well, that basket is not looking as good this week.
Not looking as good, but there's still 4 games left. It could still happen. But yeah, not much else to really take away from that game. I like there's things you can learn, and just I don't know. You're paying one guy to go to the practice squad for a couple days to sign with another team potentially, and then turn around and start him, and you're paying another guy $250 million to sit in your box suites. I mean, what kind? I don't think that's what a good winning organization does. So not sure what to take from Cleveland moving forward. Not sure what to take from either of these teams either. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they went to Atlanta, 2.5-point road dog. They not only cover, they get the win, 29-25. I had Atlanta here, and I said this in the beginning of the handicap. I thought the Bucs were the better team, and the better team again won the matchup. I thought the handicap made sense, but like I said, I had it down. I thought the Bucs were the better team. I should have just went with them with the points. What did I do, though? No, I took Atlanta. And the crazy thing was, Desmond Ridder had one of his best games.
Yeah.
300 passing yards. Game-leading drive in the fourth quarter. This Falcons defense just came up short.
And then they gave it right back, yeah.
Just unfortunate. What kind of a bad loss, and sort of like the Saints, Arthur Smith needs to go. The inconsistency, though, is the reason why. It's too much. You're not going to go to the playoffs, really. You're not going to go to the Super Bowl with this guy. You can't really win already, and you can't even utilize the generational talent you have between Bijan, Kyle Pitts. I forget what the guy. There's a guy on defense who's also really good, I think, for them. This guy's just not a good head coach. He just doesn't seem to know what to do with today's talent. Even though Desmond Ridder got Kyle Pitts a touchdown, which was refreshing to see, just he can't really build around the stars he has, and it just makes me wonder why this guy is still in a position of a head coach.
It's just so frustrating because the NFC South, I don't even have anything on sort of one team or another. The NFC South, it just seems like there's no team that wants to win the division. It's like Atlanta gets a big win against the Saints. They really could have put it away this week, and they blow it.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay was looking dead, looked like they were going to fade away, and then they win a few games. The Saints basically lose last week. They have they look like a team that was going to roll over and die, and then they win. It just seems like every one of these teams is going to have 8 to 9 losses, and it's just going to be a question of who wants it, who wants it the least.
Yeah, that or who has the tiebreaker, and it's a default like that fucking last year. What was it, last year with the Bucks? I mean, is that going to happen again? Are the Bucks just going to make it by default? Not because...
Maybe, and you might favor the Bucks because this time of year, I start to fade the good teams that don't have that pedigree.
Yeah.
Now's the time to start fading those teams because, we'll get to that sort of later on with some of the games, but I think that's a good way to make money in the later weeks.
I'm going to keep that in mind. I'm going to look forward to that when we do the Week 15 handicaps. We'll jump ahead. This game really pissed me off. Not as much as the game after, but this one was annoying. The Detroit Lions lost as a road favorite against the goddamn Bears. 13-28 was the final score. Chicago covered. Only a 3-point home underdog, which I always thought was weird. But I got to admit when I'm wrong. And this is what happens, folks, when you try to get cute and fade the Sharps. Sharps were all over this Bears team this week.
Sharps had a good week.
I thought it was asinine, but they fucking saw something I didn't. I was dead wrong here taking the Lions. And unlike the Colts game, this one I am 100% blaming on the quarterback and Jared Goff. Same situation, tied at the half. You give up 2 interceptions and you do absolutely nothing on offense in the second half. You could have beat Justin Fields, Jared Goff, but not only did you fail to do anything, the Lions defense, didn't blitz Justin Fields. You didn't put him in positions to screw up, and Fields didn't screw up, and he actually had 2 touchdowns in the second half. And I just think that it was just a game where that was good enough for Justin Fields to win. But it literally took Jared Goff to do nothing. It took Justin Fields not fucking up. So kind of a really weird win. It wasn't really as spectacular as like the score would make you think. But yeah, I'm not completely sold in this Bears team yet. But I think now I think we had it right. The Lions are starting to sputter. This is the time we need to start fading them moving forward.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think you sell on the Lions, especially their defenses is not what they've been. Although they do have a bunch of dome games coming up, so that could help. I guess that leaves me with the Bears, and
I did kind of a both. So
I don't know. I mean, this looks like the death throes for Justin Fields trying to salvage his career. I really got nothing on Chicago. They're playing out the string. They win in a couple meaningless games. Do
you think Justin Fields has done enough to convince you that he should stick around for another year?
No. Nope. Not good enough. Not good enough when it matters. I think sometimes the one point with the Bears, sometimes these late season runs by these bad teams could be a little fraudulent because it's easy to sort of play like this when the pressure's off, your season's over, there's no pressure, you're catching a couple teams and, in like nosedives. Especially with the Bears, they lost that game to the Lions the last time. This was like a revenge spot for them. So I don't put too much stock into it. And no, I don't think Justin Fields is really good at all.
Fair enough. All right. I you know what? No, I'm not doing it. I was going to take a incinerator for this game. I'm not, though. It's the Jets and the Houston Texans. Houston 6, Jets 30. I was more hesitant to sit here and be like, look, when you're wrong, you're wrong. The Sharps were on the side. They were right.
Well,
they literally...
It's tough when they're 1 out of 5. They're 1 in 5 now.
Yeah, they did the same shit they do every week with this Jets team, and it's just that the defense will be good enough. They struck gold on a CJ Stroud without his top 2 receivers, with a bullshit running back core, which, by the way, I thought Singletary and Dameon Pierce would be able to do more. Turns out fucking no, they can't. They're so bad at the run. That's the one weakness with the Jets, and when CJ Stroud was forced to throw, he had nobody to throw to. Jets were able to take advantage of it, and I'll give them that credit, but I don't know, man. Like, Zach Wilson having a day throwing for 300 yards and 2 touchdowns, I didn't expect that. I don't know where the hell this guy was, though, the whole season when he had the starting job in the beginning of the year.
Looked like a different offense. Although the rumor today is that the Jets actually told them that they're trading him at the end of the season, so maybe he's playing well to show off for sort of potential other teams. I don't know.
I guess. Oh, I mean, it makes sense if you're keeping Aaron Rodgers. And
yeah. Look, it's like I told you, man. The Jets, they needed this game like blood to keep the Hounds away. I mean, there were reports that this game potentially saved jobs because of how bad things were getting. Like, I don't know. With all the stuff that happened, sometimes you just need a win. And I would say more concerning was Houston, no effort performance. It was a rain game in New York against a bad team, and they look like they did not want to even get off the plane. And if CJ Stroud is hurt for any, I would sell on Houston. That was a really bad loss, and I have no idea if they're just going to completely young team, things finally going against them, they might completely fall apart after this game.
Mills projected to start next week.
Yeah, that'll be the end of their season. That happened.
Yeah, not looking forward to them. All right, we're jumping to the 4:00 slate here. So we mentioned this earlier in the show. We got the news that Geno Smith was out. Drew Lock was in. Doubles for Drew later, and Seattle still lost. 16-28 was the final score.
Big cover, though.
Seahawks get the cover. This was a dummy, not my donkey pick of the week, but this was a bad play because I literally said in my handicap, Niners are coming off of their Super Bowl. The Seahawks have nothing to lose. 13.5 is a lot. I liked it at 11.5 earlier. It's moved up 2 points. I wonder if it's too much. What do I do, Jason?
You bet
the minute
minus
it's Drew
like
Lock,
13
I bet
and a half.
minus 13 and even though I've already bet the money on the 11.5 and got the number. No, I bet 13.5. Does it hit? No, because why? Turns out Drew Lock is a decent backup quarterback and can get you some points.
Well,
not a good game, but I mean,
I don't know. San Fran looked like this. Reminded me a lot of the Tampa game where they had the game in hand, and it was sort of just like they had the game in hand. I think they're good enough. See, that's a scary thing. Like Kansas City in its prime, when they weren't what they are now, where they were just good enough where it's like some of these games you feel like they get up, and it's just sort of, we've got the game in hand. We're just going to cruise. That's what it sort of felt like towards the latter part of that game, that the Niners sort of were. I could be wrong about that. It looked like they were in cruise control.
That's not a bad takeaway. I'm not going to boast about the Niners' dominance. I think we've said this before, and teams moving forward are going to have to really invest on having a decent backup quarterback and building them up too. Drew Lock is the prime example of that. It's a guy who's had field experience. He's led a team before. He has rapport with said team. It makes the difference between whether you lose by 30 or whether you keep the game in hand. Lock was a lot more serviceable than I anticipated. He did have the 2 picks, which unfortunately I think was why the Niners were able to succeed as much as they did. But, 2 touchdowns too. They kept it close going up into the fourth quarter, and then it just sort of got out of hand. But never really felt like the Seahawks were going to win. It just felt like they were going to keep it close.
Yeah.
And I think having a guy like Drew Lock is that difference maker for a team when your quarterback is out. Not that you're going to win games.
I don't know if they're going to get like schedule relief. I kind of want to bet them against like a bad team because I do feel like they've played a lot of good teams and are just getting beaten by teams that are better than them. They're not a good team. I just feel like they've played a lot of teams that are good and they're just having some bad luck with the schedule.
Some class relief would be helpful, but unfortunately next week they get the Eagles on Monday night.
Yeah. Well, never mind.
Yeah. All right. I don't have much for this game. I'm going to let you go in on this. It's the Minnesota Vikings, Las Vegas Raiders game. Raiders were my dog of the week.
Nice.
Had it at 3. Ended 3-0. Josh Dobbs completely fucked me over in fantasy, getting benched and not doing shit. But can't blame the Vikings here.
Yeah, don't complain, Mr. Number 1 seed.
Yeah.
Maybe if I somehow miraculously, first off, I made the playoffs at 7-7, everyone. That was a miracle in and of itself. I needed to win and basically have another guy lose to a bye week, which he did. That was a miracle.
And then you needed another guy to lose, which he did.
So I miraculously made the playoffs at 7-7. So who knows? Maybe if I get lucky again and win, you could play me and get 2 bye weeks in a row.
No, unfortunately, I got to play the winner of Tommy, who's the number 2 in the league. Or he's number 3, but record-wise, he's number 2. And the other bye week that is a division. The NFC South winner of our fantasy league.
Yeah. But anyway, the game...
what a shit game.
The Josh Dobbs, no, I guess the in memoriam Josh Dobbs, it was fun while it lasted. Josh Dobbs. Nick Mullins is the starter this week.
Is there something wrong with Jaron Hall, the guy they drafted?
Nope.
Or are they just like saving him the trouble and just saying fuck it? Like, we'll give you another shot later. Just let these guys fuck them.
One of these days.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no, not much else. Not much else. The Raiders continue to play hard. That's cool, but no, not much. that was the dumpster fire game of the fucking 4 o'clock slate. So
that was my donkey pick of the week. Why am I betting? I should have known. Why am I betting money on AIden O'Conenell? What was I thinking?
I think Chiefs was you. Although you bet the Bills 1.5, which is weird because you said I like the Chiefs in your handicap, and then you bet the Bills. It was very strange.
Yeah, I got to do a shot for that too. But it's But let's go to. We'll jump ahead. We'll actually go ahead and go to the Bills game, but then we'll end it with the Broncos. Bills get the win, 20-17. Almost an overtime game. Almost another last-minute loser for the Bills. I guess they sort of catch a lucky break here, but the Bills did win and get the cover.
Kind of got lucky, yeah. It's pretty lucky.
Yeah, I think I made that dummy bet earlier in the week before I did the handicapping, and then I heard that, and like I said, listened to a bunch of sharps. Some of them were all over the Bills. Some of them were all over the Chiefs. Before I even looked at everything, it was like, okay, my fear was that the Bills were going to become a favorite, so I was like, let me get the Bills. Maybe I could catch the Chiefs in middle.
Yeah, road fate, no.
No, but didn't happen. No. But anyways, I'll let you talk about the Bills, and then I'm going to go. And I'm going in on the Chiefs.
Before I do that, real quick, can we stop with this bullshit fake controversy of the receiver being offsides? By the way, thank you, Kadarius Toney, for saving our season. Look, I'm not going to rant about it a long time. I know that's big on the talk shows. Look, when we were in Buffalo and the Bills had 12 men on the field, did any fucking Bills fan, anyone in the media, anyone argue? Well, I know the Bills had 12 guys on the field, but it shouldn't have been a penalty because the 12th guy didn't force Will Lutz to miss the kick that, would have ended the game and been a Bills win.
Why would you call that penalty so late in the game?
Yeah, why call a 12-man penalty the last play? No, it was just, wow, the Bills sucked. They had 12 men on the field. That's stupid. So
somebody's getting fired because this is awful.
For this to be even a quote-unquote controversy, when the guy is literally he's literally blocking the ball with his fucking body. Come on, guys. At the end of the day, the Bills caught a break. You know what? I feel like it balanced out the Denver game. We lost the Denver game. We won this one. Yay.
You also lost to Philly in that overtime.
As for the Bills, I don't want to. I'm not reeled in yet. They're starting, though. We got Dallas
this is the time of year.
We got Dallas at home. We know that Dallas is a better team at home than on the road. So Dallas has to go to Buffalo. We could very easily win that game. We have Miami, who we historically do well against. And then we have the Chargers without Justin Herbert, who's out for the year. And the Patriots. 4 wins, we're in the playoffs. 4 wins, we might win the division. The way if Miami starts choking on their own spittle. So, we win a game. It's good. It's all there for us. Our destiny is in our own hands, so we can do it.
It starts here. The Bills playoff run, it starts with that Chiefs game. Needs to end with a 4 out of 5. I agree. I'm going in on Kansas City here, and I know that a lot of sports media has done it.
Deservedly so.
Yeah, deservedly so. But look, I'll start with this, and maybe it's an olive branch towards Kansas City, which I can't believe I'm doing. I actually agree with Patrick Mahomes on a specific remark he made regarding the refs. I actually think a lot of people in general would agree with him and not have an issue with what he said. But the NFL, because the same sentiment is that it's the inconsistency with the refs. It has been beyond atrocious this year. The inconsistency in what's a penalty and what isn't, what's called, what isn't called, supposedly what's given a warning, when isn't a warning given. And it's putting out bad football. It's not what you want in an NFL league that has all this money that they could be investing one way or another and just don't. My problem, though, is I don't want to hear it from Patrick Mahomes. I don't want to hear it from a guy.
Did you see the NFL memes thread? There was a guy on Twitter.
Yes.
That shit was fucking hilarious. If you guys haven't seen, he literally posted about like 15 videos where the Chiefs got calls on their favorite. It was so funny.
Yeah.
Fucking did.
But again, that was my next point. Like, how many times have we seen in Patrick Mahomes' career a call go in his favor? And now it's just look, Pat, I hate to tell you this. All these years you've had calls go in your favor. The tide is just turning around against you. It's called karma. It's a bitch. And so was your fucking attitude in that post-game conference.
Oh, yeah. And, bro, like, especially something like this, like, no offense, line up on sides, guy. Like, it's not rocket science. Like, you are literally...
You are staring at the
head of the football. Like, what are you doing?
And the referee being like, yeah, we're going to fucking call that. It was so egregious. We couldn't see the ball. Forget checking in. Like, he should know better. Like, he's staring at it. Like, the refs were 100% in the right on this one, believe it or not. Despite the fact that in previous videos, too, Kadarius Toney lined up offsides 4 other times. No calls made. And so if Patrick Mahomes was to say, look, yeah, he was offsides. The inconsistency, though, if you look at the whole game, he did the same thing earlier. He wasn't called. Now in a play where it mattered and we fucking scored, they want to blow the whistle. It's a little... If he had just said that, I probably would have been like, okay, well, let's see the footage. Does he have a point? But no, but again, I also don't want to hear from a guy who all year just has been fucking coming up with loser mentality and excuses for why they're not winning certain games. And literally the one problem that everyone else seems to be able to see and acknowledge, your wide receivers suck. Your wide receiving core is horrendous. They could not catch COVID if they were literally in Wuhan, China. They are bad. 5 games now where their receivers have cost them a game.
Yeah, they can't catch shit. Yeah, they can't catch anything.
Week 1, Kadarius Toney, pick 6 off the helmet. Lions win. Week 8, Mahomes literally dies and does literal dog shit against the Denver Broncos. Happy for it, but I mean, where were the excuses for the refs week 8 when you didn't do shit? Week 11, MVS, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, drops the long bomb against the Philadelphia Eagles at home to win the game. Week 13, 2 weeks later, Sunday Night Football against the Packers, MVS not only drops the ball again, he gets a non-pass interference call. What were you doing the rest of that game to fucking put yourself in a winning position, Patrick? And then this little last week, Kadarius Toney, clearly offsides. And you want to bitch at the refs now? Like, it just seems like they're like making up excuses for why they suck now.
You know what it reminds me of, dude? You know what it reminds me of? People that call, yeah, I got a speeding ticket from the police and I shouldn't have gotten a speeding ticket. Well, how far were you going? Oh, I was speeding, but I speed every day and I never get a ticket. I'm like, but you were speeding, so you got a ticket. Well, that's not how it's supposed to. It's like literally, bro, like, oh, well, I lined up offsides 5 times in the game and it was never called. Like, this to me is so easy because you're either offsides or you're not. Like, I could see the pass interference, you know, subjective. Was there enough contact? Was the ball catchable? Like, yeah, that sometimes is hard when the refs sort of, you know, one thing's a pass interference and the other thing isn't, and it's subjective and nobody even knows. Nobody knows what to catch. But this shit, it's literally, again, like the Buffalo Bills penalty. 12 men on the field. Should the Bills have cried and complained? Well, you know, in that point in the game, like, you're taking away greatness because us having 12 men on the field didn't make a difference. You know what? It's real simple. You have 12 men.
You never heard the Bills once say, oh, well, you just caught us. You might have cost us a chance to take a lead in the playoff race because you called us for having 12 men in a spot where it didn't matter and the guy missed a field goal. We should have won. You never heard that. You know what it was? God, who was your OC? Dickhead.
Yeah. That was literally, we got to clean that up. And oh, by the way, our offense sucked and turned the ball over 7 times. You're fired. Oh, by the way, one
You're
more thing on
fired.
the Bills. How's Joe Brady doing? Look at that offense. Look at that running game. James Cook's a superstar.
I will say they look good.
He's the truth. JC, James Cook, remember the name.
Last note I'll make. Can we just start holding the Chiefs accountable for their losses now? Like, especially under Matt Nagy, this is a terrible offense. I want nothing to do with them moving forward. Like, this plug-and-play bullshit that the Chiefs have had, letting go of a guy like Tyreek Hill, like, can you just admit that, like, you were wrong? You had a stud wide receiver. You just didn't want to pay him. And it's not like this, oh, anybody can fit into this. Clearly, they fucking can't. Clearly, these guys are no good, but you just think you can make them great. Like, I don't get it, man. Like, this Chiefs, I swear, like, I would love to auto-fade them the rest of the year, but, like, you know you can't. But
I don't know, man. They're
done.
not looking good. Complaining about the refs and stuff, that's a loser mentality.
100%. Yeah, Chiefs are on a losing mentality right now. I don't know if it's a team I want to back moving on. All right, Sunday night, Philadelphia Eagles, Dallas Cowboys. Yeah, I made it halfway through and I was out, but didn't seem to matter. Dallas fucking took the game. Never was a sweat. Dallas -3.5 was my other good play I had. I did hit that bet. 33-13 was the final score. My takeaway, it's like, look, Dallas is at home. They're a lock. Should have been my best bet. I was right about one thing with Philadelphia, this strength of schedule argument. I just 100% believe they are getting like the hardest part of the schedule at this point. I think they're just starting to burn out. And I think you're seeing it right before your very eyes. They can only keep up so far. I think any NFL team would be able to keep up only so far before they just sputter and, you know, injuries start piling up and you get found out and you just start making mistakes that end up costing you games. Dallas was just 100% ready for this game. They were fired up. They knew this coming in. This was a get up spot and they just took full advantage of it. So,
well, I think you're getting afraid because, you know, the last game the Eagles won against the Bills defense, not that great, really.
Yeah.
Kind of hit or miss. If the Eagles aren't going to score, their defense is starting to not look good. They're not trending in the right direction. And now with Dallas winning, they could very easily be on the road in the playoffs. And I don't know if I like them on the road in the playoffs.
I definitely don't like them on the road in the playoffs, but I mean, look, they're going to get an extra day's rest going into Monday night against the Seahawks team in Seattle. I just don't know if one day of rest at this point is like going to be that difference maker for me to want to bet on the Eagles moving forward. Like, kind of have to wait and see again. Are they going to be dominant? Are they going to be a team that I want to back going into this playoffs as that Super Bowl contender favorite once again?
Yeah.
So,
and as for Dallas, early contender for fade of the week for obvious reasons.
Ooh. Yeah,
coming off their Super Bowl on the road against a non-conference opponent and in the cold of Buffalo, New York, early fade of the week. Look a spot.
Ooh. I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
Are the Bills going to burn me again?
We'll find out. My takeaway from Dallas, I mean, I think I already said it. My takeaway from Dallas, this was their get-up spot. This was the game they prove all the haters wrong. Sports media starts talking as Dallas a Super Bowl contender again. And look, they looked great. They did everything right, but it's just, can they stay consistent? We've seen this before. It's nice to see them win against a winning franchise.
I think they need home field. They need home field. They're just a much different team at home.
Yeah.
Much different.
All right. We got to talk about your best bet, Mansmann. Tennessee Titans were 13.5. I
mean, it was looking good with fucking 4 minutes left.
Road underdog. They went to Miami. Doubleheader on Monday night. 4 minutes to go. Miami takes the lead. It is 27-13. Miami's probably going to win. I go to bed. I'm up in fantasy despite playing Josh Dobbs. I have Miami's defense. They got like 20-something right at this point. I can go to bed. I've won yet again. I don't have to worry. I wake up. And it's like, oh, hey, Mr. Number 1 seed. And I'm like, oh, I must have won. And I look, and I lose. And I lost by 5. And I'm like, what the fuck happened? And come to find out, Will Levis and this Tennessee Titans came back with 4 minutes to go and beat the Miami Dolphins as I think it was a 5-1 dog, maybe 3-1, 4-1. But what? I don't even know if I have a takeaway. I just have a question. What the fuck happened? What happened to this Dolphins team?
Tell you what, you gotta. This is where I was talking about. You gotta wonder if Miami has the pedigree to finish this. Like if the Bills get a win against Dallas, you wonder if Miami starts to hear the footsteps. I'm honestly very scared for them against a Jets team with like nothing to lose. I mean, that was a big to blow a lead like that at home, and the offense didn't even play a good game either. Like I don't know, man. I'm concerned about Miami's offense. Like other than beating the shit out of Washington, they didn't really look great against the Jets. They didn't really look great against Tennessee. And yeah, I'm wondering if it's like if Tyreek's not 100%, are they just like a completely different team? Is this like Debo with the Niners where Tyreek is, you know, gimpy or injured or out, and it's just a different football team?
Yeah, I mean, listen to this. Xavier Howard, cornerback, hip injury. Devon Ackney, toe injury. Offensive lineman Liam Eichenberg, calf injury. Tyreek Hill, ankle injury. These injuries might be coming down to the wire, and Mike McDaniels is going to probably have to make some business decisions where do we play these guys and try to win the division so we can play some scrub team in the AFC divisional round, because you know you're not getting the number 1 seed at this point. I mean, maybe, I don't know how far out they are, but like realistically, if you're not going to get the number 1, do you even take the risk? Or do you just say, fuck it, let's clinch playoffs and then let's rest? I don't know what you do if you're Mike McDaniels, but what I will say is Tua does not look good when Tyreek is not on the field. Yeah. Tua looks like the quarterback from 2020 who was a 3.5-point home favorite against a Denver team. And I was like, oh, Tua's not winning this.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of concerns with this Miami team. Will Levis, I don't know what to make of this kid. Like, a lot of times he's burned me, and a lot of times it's just like bullshit, really bad rookie quarterbacking. But then he just has these random moments of greatness, and he's able to lead a drive. And Derrick Henry had a good bit to do with that, to be fair. But
what I'll say about Tennessee is they won. You can't take that away from them. But at the same time, they were probably 98% to lose with 4 minutes left. So there's your answer.
You can never doubt Vrabel. All right. This, I think I'm going to argue, is my donkey pick of the week. If it wasn't the Raiders.
Tommy Cutlets, baby.
Tommy Cutlets DeVito.
Remember the name?
Yeah. No, for real. This
game was so stupid. This is so stupid.
Green Bay, 6.5-point road favorite against a Giants team who has not won in Monday night since 2018. Tommy fucking Cutlets did the impossible and did what Daniel Jones hasn't done in 4 fucking seasons. The $160 million dipshit could not win a primetime game in his lifetime. Tommy Cutlets' first go leads a drive and gets them a win against the Green Bay Packers at home. My takeaway just in general, and I only hate to say this because I couldn't fucking get on the side of betting on Tommy DeVito under a touchdown. I thought that like it was a dumb move, but he played a close competitive game for once. Green Bay, just another massive road letdown. They're another team where like if they're at home, you have to take them more seriously than when they're on the road. I think if you're the Giants and you're Brian Daboll, you're giving Tommy DeVito a legitimate shot at taking over this team next year. Because I think you have to know by now you're going nowhere fast with Daniel Jones. You paid the guy a lot of money because you thought you had nobody else. This Giants team just operates differently. They look more confident with Tommy DeVito under center. I know the numbers don't say it. I know they don't look impressive, but they look like a team that like cares again. They look happy. They look like they're an actual team again. It's not just players sitting on a bench. God, I mean, could the Giants just be a real dark horse? I don't think they could be a dark horse at this point, but
I mean, taking the one game out of the playoffs, I don't think it's realistic. I don't think they have a chance.
Are they just another dark horse contender here if they keep this momentum up?
I think with the Giants, like, this is a fun little story. You ride it for what it's worth. It's keeping people having jobs. And I mean, I wonder if you're the Giants, if you don't get a high prize, like first round quarterback next year, and you can't get like a veteran replacement because you have, like, I wonder if you do think about like keeping Cutlets as the backup. You have Daniel Jones. And then, you know what? If he gets hurt again, if he sucks, you basically have another year with the undrafted rookie. If he proves to be not the guy, he's a fun little story. He'll do his Italian shit. And then, you know what? Danny Dimeball will be packing his bags, and you could go and sort of regroup the next year. Because the problem is you're stuck with Danny Dimeball another year, and he's ass. We know that.
He's not good.
So maybe you just keep Cutlets as, you know, a potential sort of feel-good story for next year.
I think it goes beyond a feel-good story, though. Like, you look at that locker room after they won, they are like 100% bought into this Tommy.
Remember when the Cowboys played the Giants when we were in Buffalo? What was the score of that game?
40-17.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. Before the 3-game win streak against the Packers and also Rams, there were a couple hideous performances.
No, you're 100% right, but I mean, I just think for the sake of the locker room and the sake of the organization, like, again, like, I think you're in a new era where, and maybe it's a Raiders isolated incident, but I think if you're other franchises, I think you look at what they did, you see how the team reacted. I don't know how you don't make moves like that moving forward. If you're another team and you just say, look, you like this guy better than Daniel Jones? Jones is benched. He's not. You're not winning with Jones either. That, like, if you were winning with him, I'd understand. But it's kind of like the Ryan Fitzpatrick issue, where as a backup, you loved having Fitzpatrick. You loved being around him when he was winning. The minute he started losing again, you're like, oh shit, that's why you're a backup. That's what I need to see with Tommy Cutlets. But my problem is with Daniel Jones. You're going to put him back in. You're still not winning games. It's like the New York Jets. They keep flip-flopping. Remember when they, like, last year, they kept flip-flopping between Joe Flacco, Mike White, Zach Wilson, and it just didn't matter who was the quarterback? I feel like you're in that situation as the Giants, and I think you just need to go to the team and say, look, who would you rather have?
I think, here's my thought on it, right, real quick. I think what stories like this do is they buy you some time. Meaning, like, there was legitimate talk before the 3-game win streak when Jones was out. There was talk that, does Daboll even have a third season? Like, we should fire the coach because the Giants look dreadful. They had a lot of promise, and they suck. And what this little story has done, it's amazing what winning does for you, because you go and you win, and it buys you time. Because now there's no talk about Daboll going anywhere, and it's basically bought him another year. You look at Zach Wilson with the Jets. He goes, he wins a couple games to end the year. People, you know, the hardcore fans will still remember the shit that was this season, but you're going to get Aaron Rodgers back next year. You're back. Look at even Sean McDermott. We were talking about Al-Qaeda Sean and making all the jokes about that stupid bullshit. All of a sudden, they win a close game in Kansas City. He's the best human being ever. We stand behind Sean 100%. Bills fans for Sean McDermott. Like, it's amazing what a win or two, kind of changes the tenor of your whole season if you could sort of string together a couple decent performances. So, it's a cool story. I don't know how far it's going to go. It may be like the Gardner Minshew thing where it was a cool little run and then faded into obscurity. Or I see a lot in New York sports. They're talking about Jeremy Lin, if you remember Linsanity.
Oh, I do remember Linsanity.
This is what Tommy C is. But yeah, no, it's a cool little story. It makes a Giants team that's otherwise boring as shit interesting. And, you ride it as hard as it goes, and then next year you regroup.
Yeah, I can't disagree with any of what you said. Just my last note, and more on the side of Green Bay. I think you have an opposite problem here because you literally were having talks. Oh, Jordan Love, he's the next Aaron Rodgers, the next Brett Favre. He can win you games. He has very similar numbers, but this is the kind of loss you look at and you say, don't think he's the guy.
Yeah, that was a bad loss. It's a bad loss.
Yeah, well, not just that it was a bad loss, but just that's the kind of game you have to explain to the media. I just lost to Tommy Cutlets. What happened? You literally put up 22 against the Giants team that, Dallas literally came in and shut them out 40-0. Why couldn't you do that? And, you can't sit there and say, well, it's the fucking Cowboys. They have a really good offense. We suck. You have to sit there and just say, look, I didn't do enough. I made mistakes. And yeah, I don't know. I would hate to see a Jordan Love be scapegoated in that sense, but yeah, I don't know, man. I just don't think Jordan Love really is the guy. I never had that feeling with him to begin with. And the fact that they were comparing him to Rodgers, it's been 1 year.
I had questions about Jordan Love coming into the season, and I still do. And that's one of the worst things because you've seen good, you've seen bad, and you just don't know. Is he always going to be that? Or so, yeah, tough place to be.
Yeah. Final numbers one more time. Not good. 2, 12, and 1 ATS. 3 and 12 money line. For 8 and 7 over under. So I was positive on that note. Money Mansmann, and again, I'll put this on the Twitter immediately. $1,200 profit. That was really it. But as far as the math goes, real quick, I mean, did I fucking really profit much other than that? No. Literally my only good hit was that parlay, but I did hit Dallas minus 3.5.
Yeah. I hit a few. Miami losing really kept me from being profitable for the week. So I was close-ish to even. Did well. 4 o'clock was really good. 1 o'clock was a mixed bag, but I think pretty much, other than the Niners, I think all my 4 o'clock bets hit. I think I got Raiders 3.5, which was good, but yeah.
Oh, well, there you go. Because I heard the line went down to 2.5, so if you got it at 3.5, that was a win. So, all right, are you ready for the Thursday night game? I'm not ready for it, but I think
it'll be. This is going to be a quick, easy handicap. So,
all right, if you say so. All right, guys, it's the Thursday night football Week 15 matchup. We're all looking forward to this one for Easton Stick versus AIden O'Conenell. Chargers are a plus 136, plus 3.5 road underdog. Raiders are laying 3.5 at home despite the shutout. Minus 162 on the money line. The over-under is 34.5. Money Mansmann, I am deferring to you here. I don't know what the fuck to do with this game whatsoever.
This is a gut play for me. This is a big gut play for me.
Okay.
Saw Easton Stick against Denver. Yikes. I don't expect him to do much better against Max Crosby in the Oakland pass rush. The Vegas pass rush. I think we saw what they did to fucking Josh Dobbs, sacked him like 5 times, held Minnesota to 3. Look, like, this is a gut play for me. I see the Raiders, who still look like they're trying to play competitive football, even though they didn't score. They had a bad game against Minnesota offensively. One team looks like they're still trying. I think Brandon Staley is 100% dead man walking. They shut down Justin Herbert for the year with the finger injury, which basically indicates they've given up on the year. I don't know. Like, this could backfire because it has in the past when I've made these handicaps. I just think, to me, late in the year, Thursday night road game, Raider Nation, they lost a tough game to the Chargers before. They always seem to play close. Give me the Raiders here. I want the motivated team with a coach that the Raiders have played better for. I'll take that over Brandon Staley, who's basically a lame duck. A lame duck coach with a backup quarterback from like North Dakota State.
Jesus God, I hate this game so fucking much. Look, here's my problem. I don't know what to do with this shit. It is a shit game, but this is shit. This is 100% a no bet, and I mean it this time. I'm not laying a single dollar on this game. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. This is a gut play on my end. Why am I laying 3.5 with AIden O'Conenell?
Well, that's true. That is true.
Why am I laying 3.5 on a team as a home favorite who just got shut out by fucking Nick Mullen? What the hell are we doing?
I mean, I do think the Vikings defense is better than the Chargers defense, though.
They 100%. The Chargers defense is ass. Let's get that out of the way. Brandon Staley is ass. The Chargers organization as a whole is ass. LA or nothing for me. I'm not laying 3.5 on AIden O'Conenell. Not with the dud he just put up last week. No one should be.
I get it. I could see, like, if the offense struggles and Josh Jacobs starts running the ball. I have a feeling this is a Josh Jacobs, like, I'm wondering if you play like a 2-touchdown prop on him or something. Because
the latter.
I could see the Chargers making some business decisions late in this game. I really could see these Chargers defenders being like, fuck this shit.
I'm not going to do this, but what I would tell you is if you really feel that strongly, I would be betting Josh Jacobs ladders. I would be hitting the rushing yards, the receiving yards, the touchdowns, the combo plays, the receptions. I would just be hitting all of it, maybe in less units the higher up you go. But if you feel that strongly about Josh Jacobs, that's how I would attack it.
Unless he has like a bad injury designation or something. Like, I could. This to me looks like Josh Jacobs gets going. He flattens a few defenders and people just start making business decisions.
My last point, even though this is a no bet, road teams are very profitable on Thursday Night Football. And once again, it's a bad play on either side. Road underdogs for 2 weeks in a row have covered now. Road underdogs, they've covered it in 3 of the last 4. It's just me taking the points. It's not necessarily who it is. It's just I'm playing the system. Underplay for me, under 34.5. I don't know why it went up. It was 33.5. You have 2 third-rate quarterbacks who haven't really produced anything. Like, what are you unless it's Josh Jacobs or Austin Eckler, like, what are you doing on offense? This sucks, too, because I have fucking Keenan Allen on offense in my fantasy league, and now he's just essentially a waste. But I have to play him because it's Keenan Allen. So, thank God I have a bye week, and I'm going to learn a lot coming in. Otherwise, I'd be very
well, you'll have if you may have 2 bye weeks, but I agree with you. Under the highest I see this game is like 24-7. I really think I don't know, man. The Chargers scored 6 points with Justin Herbert on the road against the Patriots. Like, God, I really don't see this being a successful night for Easton Stick.
No, I think this is the shit game we were expecting last week with the Steelers and the Patriots. I think it's going to be even worse here.
Yeah.
My final note, road teams 9-4 ATS, 5-8 straight up on Thursday night. So plus 3.5. Like, doesn't this just feel like a 9-6, 12-9?
Trappy to me. It seems like they want you to bet the Chargers, and I just have a feeling the Raiders are going to roll. Well, not roll, but just like never be in doubt. Because I just don't know if the Chargers offense, like, I could see Easton Stick get like fumbling 3 times. Like, I don't know if this Chargers O-line is going to be able to protect him. I mean, we saw Denver obliterate Easton Stick. Like, I think the Raiders could do the same thing.
I don't know, like, on one hand, I want the Raiders to win because I hate the Chargers, but on the other hand, like, for playoff purposes, I kind of need the Chargers to beat the Raiders because that'll just help Denver boost up for their chances to, like, get the wild card at this point. If, God forbid, the Raiders become a contender late in the season.
Play the Raiders again this year?
Last week of the season.
Will it be the first time you've ever beaten the Vegas Raiders?
I don't know.
Is it in Vegas?
Yeah.
Oh, boy, that could be your playoffs. God, are you going to... Oh, man.
Oh, boy. Yeah. I won't worry about that come week. Look, week 18 is... spoiler alert. Week 18, chaos week. No other way to describe it. It's just chaos week. Yeah. But, well, I'll deal with that when we get there. But let's just get to week 15 come on Friday, folks. Absolutely. Any final words before we sign off, Money Mansmann? No,
it was a hell of a weekend. It was a
good time. My God. I don't want to see Cinnerator or any cinnamon whiskey for another week. God, that was horrible. I had to do it. Like, this was a good, valuable recap. This helped me learn a lot. This just made me realize the error of my ways. But let's just hope we roll the winnings over into next week. I mean, I don't know if I'll hit another 1,200, but we'll see. All right. I am Steve Big Bucks Beta. I'm taking the Chargers Thursday night. God rest my soul.
Money Mansmann signing off.
Go make that motherfucking money, folks.
Make that motherfucking money.
And don't break your phones.
Or lose your keys.